What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to Fight IQ with Vaughn, where I break down and predict UFC fights using my win probability calculator and my AI fight simulator. The win probability calculator takes all the data, weighs it, and spits out true win probabilities, letting us know who's got the edge and where to find the expected value. The expected value is this tool to compare the odds set by the sportsbooks to the true odds determined by the win probability calculator. The expected value does not determine the outcome of a fight. It determines what edge you have over the sportsbook. The AI Fight Simulator is our virtual octagon, running 10,000 fight simulations based on real fight data such as strikes landed, takedown accuracy, cardio, age, layoff, finish rates, you name it, and gives us a winner, the method of victory, and reasoning for its pick. Let's analyze these numbers, run the sims, and find out who's walking away with the W Saturday night. What is up, people? We are here for UFC 316, two title fights, Merab Devalishvili versus Sean O'Malley 2, and Kayla Harrison versus Juliana Pena. This card's going to kick off with a cobbled fight last minute between Markel Mederos and Mark Choinski. Markel Mederos was supposed to fight Bolaji Oki in last week's UFC's worst card of the year, Blanchfield versus Barber. This will be Choinski's UFC debut. Mederos opened up as a big favorite at minus 300. He is currently sitting as a minus 218 favorite with an implied win probability of 68.6%. This is a short notice fight and a coin flip fight. The sports books are trying to sell you a lopsided affair and pumping it on Mederos. Choinski, he didn't have any of the stats, so I had to watch some film and cobble the stats together. So there could be some stat bias with this. However, the win probability calculator has Mederos as a slight favorite at minus 105 with a true win probability of just 51.3%. The AI Fight Simulator has Choinski to win 75% of the time, 40% by decision. Again, these are skewed stats. The UFC stats page does not have stats for Choinski, so I had to watch the fight and manually input them, so there is a subjective nature to the weight of these stats. However, I'm not alone in thinking that Choinski can get the job done. Money has been moving Choinski's way, and I'm fucking calling him Choinski now. Fucking Choinski. Independent of whatever numbers I make up, money's moving his way, and I wasn't impressed with Mederos' win over Hubbard. Both fighters are on a 10-fight win streak. Mederos has a negative 17.3 expected value betting on his money line. Choinski a positive 13% expected value. Mederos to me is overpriced at minus 218. I'm going to buck against the data and take Choinski by decision. I didn't like the fact that Mederos was also the last person to weigh in on the weight cuts. Next up should be a fun fight between Salkilld and Ashmouz. The Aussie Salkilld opened up as a massive favorite at minus 485, where he is currently sitting with an implied win probability of 82.9%. Salkilld is coming off a 19-second KO victory against a helpless poor Indian boy who should have never been signed to the UFC, and also beat a slew of unknown, untested competition from Australia's local scene. Ashmouz is coming off a victory against the dog of dogs, Trevor Peek. In fact, Ashmouz's short UFC career has been pretty impressive, even factoring his loss to Chris Duncan. The win probability calculator has Salkilld as a big favorite at minus 308, with a true win probability of 75.5%. The AI Fight Simulator is conflicted. While it simulated Salkilld to win 55% of the time, it ultimately picked Ashmouz to win this fight by KO round 2. The reason why? Salkild's 43% strike defense presents an opportunity for Ashmouz to land a fight-altering punch. Both fighters have a professional record of 8-1. This is a more dangerous fight, I believe, for Salkilld than it is for Ashmouz. Salkilld has a negative 7.4 expected value betting his money line. Ashmouz has a positive 3.2% expected value. With the AI conflicted, I'm staying away from betting this fight. I don't feel like there's really any value. I'm not too impressed with Salkild's resume. I just saw Gamrot wrestle fuck the shit out of Klein, and I'm a bit hesitant to pick Ashmouz. So I'm going to stick with Salkilld by decision, but again, I am not as confident as the bookmakers seem to be with this fight. Next, we have the undefeated prospect debutant Ju Sang-yu versus the guy that got beat by Weston Wilson. The South Korean opened up as a huge favorite at minus 485, and he's currently sitting as still a huge favorite at minus 470 with an implied win probability of 82.5%. Sang-yu's a specimen. This guy's an absolute workhorse, and he has a high fight IQ and sporting an undefeated record. Saragih is coming off a submission loss to Weston Wilson, and Saragih also lost to that poor Indian boy we were talking about earlier, Ashul Jubli, who I don't think is UFC caliber opponent or caliber fighter. The win probability calculator has Sang-yu as the big favorite at minus 317 with a true win probability of 76%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Sang-yu to win 85% of the time, 50% by KO round 1. Sang-yu's fighter metrics are too overwhelming for Saragih, but then again, beware of the bias that I have because I had to watch film to put in these fighter stats. Sang-yu has a negative 6.4 expected value compared to the sportsbook's rating for his money line. Saragih has a plus 2.2 expected value. I'm taking Sang-yu by KO. Saragih is just not durable enough. Next up, we have Teemu Joker Kong Wang versus Ariane Lipski da Silva. Lipski da Silva is the only fighter who missed weight in this whacked out UFC weigh-in where everyone seemed to be on weight. And not only that, we managed to get fractional weights on an analog scale, 135.1, 185.1. What the fuck? I mean, that shit was just mind-boggling. Regardless, Lipski was 6 pounds overweight. To me, that indicates a potential injury where she could not cut the rest of the weight. You know, if this fight was based purely on looks, Lipski would win hands down, but unfortunately, it's based on skill. The Chinese Phenom opened up as a big favorite at minus 360. She's currently a bigger favorite at minus 500 with an implied win probability of 83.3%. The fight metric dominance is glaring and probably too overwhelming for Lipski. The win probability calculator also has Wang as a huge favorite at minus 326 with a true win probability of 76.5%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Wang to win 70% of the time, 35% by KO round 1. Wang has a minus 6.9 expected value betting the money line. Lipski has a positive 2.7% expected value. Lipski's, she's durable. She went the distance with Karine Silva, and Wang is not the submission threat JJ was, Jasuda Vicious. But missing 6 pounds during the weigh-in indicates that she's not 100%. I believe Wang will take the win. I'm not sure she's going to get the KO, and I certainly believe she is overpriced. Next up is going to be a fun fight between Chaos Williams and Andreas Gustafsson. Gustafsson was slated to fight Jeremiah Wells until Wells bitched out last minute. Gustafsson immediately jumped on the opportunity to fight Chaos Williams, who also lost his dancing partner. Williams opened up as the favorite at minus 218, and he's still currently a modest favorite at minus 192 with an implied win probability of 65.8%. The win probability calculator has Gustafsson as the favorite at minus 135 with a true win probability of 57.4%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Gustafsson to win 75% of the time, 50% by KO round 1. Williams has a whopping negative 23.2% expected value betting his money line. Gustafsson, a massive 20.4% expected value betting his money line. I bet the money line as soon as this fight came out. I can't believe he's so undervalued, probably because he's debuting. To me, though, Gustafsson is the deal of the century. Even with Williams' UFC experience, the fighter metrics dominance on Gustafsson's side is overwhelming. Williams' dismal 38% strike accuracy will cause him to miss and fatigue and present opportunities for Gustafsson to land punches. His strike defense is just as bad, which will expose him to absorbing damage. Gustafsson has options in this fight. He could keep it standing. He could take it to the mat. Give me Gustafsson by KO. Next, we have probably the most exciting heavyweight fight this year, Sergey Spivac versus Waldo Cortes-Acosta. Spivac opened up as a slight favorite at -125, and he's still currently a modest favorite at -142 with an implied win probability of 58.7%. The win probability calculator has Spivac as a modest favorite at -140 with a true win probability of 58.3%. The AI fight simulator, however, is conflicted and picks Spivac to win 55% of the time. However, for this fight, it chose Cortes-Acosta to win by KO round 2. Neither fighter have a positive expected value, with Spivac having a -0.4 expected value and Cortes-Acosta a -3.7 expected value. That means that Spivac is generally priced where he should be. Costa is a little bit overpriced. Betting the money line on either of this fighter is too risky for this pivotal heavyweight fight. This could go either way. I don't necessarily like the Sims call for a KO on Acosta's part, him having a 46% KO rate, but I think it has something to do with Spivac's 60% durability rate, having lost the last 3 times via KO. Spivac was able to manhandle Tybura, who is 39 years old, Derek Lewis, who's a hit-or-miss fighter with no ground experience, and Augusto Sakai, whose best years were behind in 2020. And he also beat the women beater Greg Hardy. But Costa has shown some good fight IQ against the Spain, and he's on a nice 4-fight win streak. Cortes-Acosta's opponents, I feel, were more dangerous than the one Spivac has faced as well. I like Salsa Boy here. Give me Cortes-Acosta by decision. Next up, we have Azamat Murzakanov versus Brenson Ribeiro. Ribeiro is stepping up on short notice after Johnny Walker managed to fuck himself up yet again outside of a fight. I don't get how this dude just manages to injure himself and put himself out of a paycheck time and time again, but here we are. Brenson Ribeiro, hats off to you for stepping up. I think it's on a week's notice. Murzakanov opened up as a huge favorite at -575 and is currently at a -625 favorite with an implied win probability of 86.2%. The win probability calculator has Murzakanov as the favorite at -222 with a true win probability of 68.9%. Excuse me. Yeah, Fight Simulator picks Murzakanov to win 90% of the time, 70% via KO. He does have a -17.35 expected value over Ribeiro's plus 13.1 expected value. Yeah, Murzakanov is overpriced, and there's palpable value on Ribeiro's side, but a losing bet is still a losing bet no matter how much makeup you put on it. Ribeiro isn't that good with a full training camp, let alone a short notice fight. So give me Murzakanov by KO. Next up, we should have a super fun fight, potentially a fight of the night, between flyweights Joshua Van and Bruno Silva. Any Joshua Van fight is always a fun fight. He opened up as a huge favorite at -535 and is currently sitting as a -650 favorite with an implied win probability of 86.7%. The win probability calculator has Van as the favorite at -245 with a true win probability of 71%. The AI fight simulator picks Van to win 70% of the time, 40% via KO. Van does have a -15.7 expected value to Silva's positive 11.5 expected value. You can see that Van is also overpriced and there is value in Silva, but just like the Ribeiro fight, a losing bet is still a losing bet no matter how much makeup you put on it. And I can see that you're starting to start seeing a trend with the sportsbooks overvaluing, overpricing the favorites and trying to throw value on the underdog to entice people to go that way. Van's striking output is second to none. I think it's 8.1 per strikes landed per minute. It's crazy. And I think Silva's durability is going to get checked this fight. Van is on a 3-fight win streak after welcoming Ray Suzura to the UFC. Van isn't a prolific knockout artist. He won his last 3 fights by decision, so I am going to take Van by decision. Next, we have the featured prelim between Kevin Loudmouth Holland versus Vicente Luque. The all-business Holland is looking to outwit, outsmart, and outclass Luque, but Luque ain't having none of that shit. He ran through Garimbo. He beat Rafael Dos Santos. Yeah, he lost to Joaquin Buckley, and yeah, he lost to Bilal Muhammad, but come on. Those are top-tier fighters. Holland opened up as a favorite at -230, and he's currently a -270 favorite with an implied win probability of 73%, which is crazy. The win probability calculator does have Holland as a favorite at -142 with a true win probability of 58.7%. The AI Fight Simulator picks Luque to win 52% of the time, 30% via KO. Holland has a -14.3% expected value to Luque's +10% expected value. This is really a definition of a 50-50 coin flip fight. Luque, to me, has a slight advantage in the fighter metrics, but there's durability issues on both sides. I don't know which version of Kevin Holland is going to show up. Is it going to be the all-business Holland or the pointing and cracking jokes Kevin Holland when he's losing? I'm not sure. Every time I pick Kevin Holland to win, he loses. Every time I pick him to lose, he wins. He was supposed to beat Gunnar Nelson, who's been away from the octagon for over 2 years, so that should have been a surprise. And Luque is the home field guy, right? He was born in New Jersey. He lived there before he moved to Brazil. And he has beat long, lanky fighters before, a.k.a. Randy Brown. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and pick Vicente Luque by decision. Next, we have one of the most anticipated fights of the UFC card. I don't understand quite why it's in the prelims. Maybe it's to try to entice people to watch the pay-per-view. I think this could have been on the pay-per-view main card. Former Bellator champ Patchy Mix versus the number 10 UFC bantamweight Mario Bautista. Patchy's made it well known that he believes he's going to walk through Mario and through his crew, and he's actually looking past Mario Bautista towards his next opponent in either Merab or O'Malley. Patchy opened up as the favorite at -166, and he's currently the -185 favorite with an implied win probability of 64.9%. The win probability calculator has this also as a 50-50 fight. The AI Fight Simulator picks Bautista to win 65% of the time, 35% by decision. Patchy has a -15.2% expected value to Bautista's +10.9% expected value, and I feel like this is some true value on Bautista. I feel he's truly undervalued in this fight. I've always believed that UFC fighters are the best in the world and that UFC is the best MMA organization in the world, and we just saw Patricio Pitbull wither under the UFC lights. I think Patchy's ready to rumble, but Bautista's a dog. And with just a 10% KO rate, Patchy isn't going to knock this motherfucker out. So his only path to victory is a submission or a decision. The fighter metrics are skewed because I had to manually derive these stats by watching film. And I really wish that a company would develop some sort of tracking software that it could be applied to fights and measure fighter metrics so it wouldn't be so subjective. But I digress. I do like Patchy's passion. I like his focus. But to say he's the best in the world, come on, that's a lot of self-belief. This is the UFC, son. Prove it. Give me UFC vet Bautista by grimy decision. Next up, we have the rescheduled match between Joe Shitbags Pyfer and Kelvin Gastelum. Pyfer pulled out of UFC Mexico after alleging a gastrointestinal emergency prevented him from showing up. Gastelum believes Pyfer didn't want to fight at elevation and sabotage the Mexico fight so that he could be rescheduled to Pyfer's advantage. They settled on New Jersey. Pyfer opened up as the big favorite at -375 and is currently the -380 favorite with an implied win probability of 79.2%. The win probability calculator picks Pyfer as the minus 266 favorite with a true win probability of 72.7%. The AI fight simulator picks Pyfer to win 55% of the time, 30% via KO. Pyfer does have a negative 6.4 expected value compared to Gastelum's positive 2.3 expected value on the money line. You know, Pyfer was recently on MMA media trying to redefine the term fraud checked and then try to deflect his loss to Jack Hermanson by pointing the finger at Bo Nickel.
Wasn't my best performance, but I didn't get rocked, I didn't get dropped, I didn't get submitted, I didn't get fraud checked. So let's redefine what fraud checked is.
But you know what? At least Bo Nickel showed up. Gastelum, you know, he's the true company man here. He's always showing up and always fighting whoever the UFC puts in front of him. And if Pyfer does not get this job done against Gastelum, the term fraud check is going to be slung around Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and all fucking Pyfer's career. Pyfer better win this fight. I'm going to take Pyfer by KO. But betters be fucking ware. Finally, the title fights. The co-main event between Juliana Pena and the number 2 challenger, Kayla Harrison. The shit talking coming out of Juliana's mouth is exhausting. She's not credible. She's flat out annoying. I know she's a great saleswoman, but all we want to do is see her get her ass kicked. Kayla opened up as a monster favorite at minus 625, and she's even a larger favorite. I think the largest favorite in the whole card at minus 750 with an implied win probability of 88.2%. The win probability calculator picks Harrison as the minus 635 favorite with a true win probability of 86.4%. The AI fight simulator picks Harrison to win 88% of the time, 40% via KO. Harrison has a negative 1.8 expected value. Pena a negative 2.4 expected value. So there's actually some value in betting the Harrison money line, although the amount of money you're going to win on a $100 bet is negligible. So probably try to bet the prop bet KO on this. Can Pena really last 25 minutes? To me, the only way that Pena retains her belt is she pulls a Macy Barber and just doesn't show up last minute. Kayla Harrison is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Let me repeat that. Kayla Harrison is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, achieving that feat in 2012 and 2016. She's also a 2-time PFL champion. Pena, she's been pissed that she's an underdog, was shocked that 1 out of every 6 people betting this fight would pick her. Wrong. Now it's almost 1 out of every 8 people. There's no way on earth Juliana Pena is going to defeat Kayla Harrison. Give me Harrison by TKO and no. And finally, it's time. The second title fight of the night between Merab Devalishvili and Sean O'Malley. This is part 2. The grown-up O'Malley is showing up. No hair dye, no weed, no social media, no wanking. Merab, you know, that fool show up. Doesn't matter if he got shot, stabbed, broke a leg, busted a rib, tore a toe off. He's a monster. He's a beast. He's the boogeyman of the bantamweight division. O'Malley is coming off of hip labrum surgery, and this is his first fight back since what's his midget name? Henry Cejudo recently said that he heard that O'Malley was just practicing BJJ in camp. He's not practicing actual wrestling, defense, getting up, separation. I don't know what to make of that. I don't know if Cejudo is just trying to throw a wrench in everything like he usually does. But if that is the case, I don't think that's a recipe for success, nor was it a recipe for success to basically piss off Merab during press conference. Merab was, I think, in a totally placated state where he was just happy to compete. He didn't really care if he won or he lost. He's just happy to be here. He's blessed. He's glad that O'Malley was humbled, and all of a sudden O'Malley's like, come Sunday morning, nobody's going to remember who Merab was. And I think that pissed the fuck out of Merab. He's like, oh yeah, motherfucker. Well, watch. I'm going to wrestle the fuck out of you for 25 fucking minutes. And still, Merab defended his belt against Umar while he was dealing with a severe back injury and a nasty leg injury, man. This dude, he can fight hell or high water, right? He opened up as a favorite at minus 325, and he's still the current favorite at minus 285 with an implied win probability of 74%. The win probability calculator picks Merab as the minus 175 favorite with a true win probability of 63.7%. The AI Fight Simulator also picks Merab to win 60% of the time, 45% by decision. Merab has a negative 10.3% expected value. O'Malley, a positive 6% expected value. Everybody knows this. Merab is the best bantamweight in the world. O'Malley even admitted as much. No one's disputing this. Is this a slam dunk? No. O'Malley's got power. O'Malley's got knockout power. O'Malley's got great footwork. I don't know how compromised O'Malley really was that first fight. I'm certainly not going to downplay his injury. However, I know that you just can't come back from labrum surgery and then all of a sudden think that you're going to out-wrestle the most prolific wrestler in the UFC. Merab handled him easily the first time, and I just don't think he put enough work to get the nuances of the escapes that he's going to need against Merab's top-tier takedown offense. Give me the champ. Merab by decision. O'Malley, take a dab. Dye your hair. Be free. It isn't about what you do and what you don't do physically. It's what you do inside that octagon. Give me Merab by decision. Love you, beautiful people. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button. Bet responsibly. Don't blame me if you got some sort of losing bet. That shit ain't on me. It's on you. Love y'all.